Kambale, a youthful entrepreneur, gives us his views on cross-border trade, the opportunities that come with it, and prospects. So, give us more of an insight on what it means to be a young entrepreneur doing business across the borders. I understand you have such an experience.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think because we can hardly rely on how the Malawian economy is moving at the moment, because there's so many things that need to be improved. As such, as someone that is willing to survive through this tough time, looking for opportunity has to be one fundamental factor in business. That's why you have so many agents here now in Malawi, because they are looking for opportunity. That's how we have Burundians, that's how we have Lebanese. These guys are looking for opportunity. They're coming from very far away, far places, just to look for opportunity in Malawi. The same opportunity that we shun to say, no, Malawi has no opportunities. Sometimes for you to know and see another opportunity, it means you're looking at it from another angle. You're looking at it from another view of life, because where they're coming from, there are opportunities that if we are to go, we would possibly strive.
Right.
When they come to Malawi, they're possibly seeing opportunities where they're going to strive better than in their countries. That's the same thing that as a growing entrepreneur, businessman, traveling is one of the fundamental areas I put attention to. So I see to it that I see what the other countries are doing and adapt to what I can do better in those countries, or possibly bring back home in a way of improving the service industry that we have in Malawi. So
by and by, are you saying cross-border trade is possible, it is doable?
Yes.
The reason why I'm asking this is that us as a country, we already know the fiscal space is tight.
Yes.
If we go across the borders, let's say Zambia, Zimbabwe, you are really telling us that the opportunities for you to thrive, they're there.
Yes, there are big opportunities to thrive, because at the end of the day, the borders are just imaginary lines.
Okay.
What we can do as Malawi, Zambia, even Zimbabwe combined is something so strong that we can stand a great pressure of the world economy. But at the moment, because we are working separately, it's kind of hard for you to break through, even when it comes to trading externally.
As an individual country.
It's not going to be easy to trade as an individual country. So if you're going to grow, I think the major area is to see to it that you combine the region and trade from there, or you combine the economies, and once you do that, I think you have a leverage over one economy. When one economy is not surviving well, you use another economy that can actually treat you better.
If you could mention a sector or an industry you believe pushing it or investing more into it can make a huge difference in our country, what would it be?
I would say transport.
Okay.
And manufacturing. The reason why, not transport because we have trucks, but transport because you can go to air transport, cargo. Just moving from Blantyre to Nzuzu shouldn't take you 8 hours. It's a small country. If you're planning for a trip from Blantyre to Nzuzu, there are no planes now going there. If there are planes, then maybe they might be a little bit expensive.
Or the charges might be minimal in a week or so.
Exactly. So transport is dividing Malawians.
Okay.
We cannot travel as easy because the roads are bad. Once you travel from, even in my situation, once I travel from Blantyre to Nzuzu, I get there and my rims are already bent. I have to possibly repair a tire or two. It will stop you from traveling, because you'll be like, if I travel, then I'm incurring no expenses. But if the roads are better, traveling shouldn't be something to think twice of. If we have a better road from Blantyre to Lilongwe, from Lilongwe to Nzuzu, it should take us at least less than 6 hours to get to Nzuzu if you're driving. And if we have air transport, just to send something to Nzuzu, it should be cheap. I was talking to someone that sells stationery in Blantyre, and he said, just to send one box to Nzuzu, I'm spending 5,000 kwacha. Imagine just one box. So those are the things where it's like, you go to Nzuzu, one ream of paper is 10,000. You go to Blantyre, 7.5. Same country. It's a big difference, So it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be too different to trade in Mzuzu and Blantyre. It should be one country. But one of the factors, transport is killing us. Just to travel from Nzuzu to Chitipa. You're going through Chiweta. This is an economic road, because this is what brings in a lot of things coming in from Tanzania. But once you take that road, my friend, once you're as you get to Karonga, your tires are gone. You're driving a small car. That's why you have so many people that are buying ITs, even having accidents it's hectic. Yes, it's hectic. It's hectic to trade in Malawi because of those aspects.
So coming to my last question, I would want to understand the perspective, yourself as a young person, and how our economy is going. We already know there are a lot of disruptions globally. COVID-19, the war in Ukraine. When you look at the future, what do you see? What could be the major shocks, or what could be the turbulences for a young business person in our country, looking at these external and both, with the internal shocks as well?
So at the end of the day, now for any entrepreneur, we are just trying to survive.
It's survival.
To be honest with you, there are not a lot of growing businesses as I'm speaking. Every guy everyone that is doing business now in Malawi is just trying to survive this period. That's why we're not improving our service. Our services are possibly where they were at some point, and we're just stuck at that particular time and period. For maybe the next, I don't know, a year or two, we're going to be doing the same exact things. It has slowed us down. People will exit the market. That is also definite. Most have already exited the market. It's only survival that will take us to the other level. And survival means it's the same principle, the survival of the fittest, the principle of the jungle. Now, this is where survival comes in. Do you move into another country? Do you find opportunities into another country?
Do you get cross-border trade and things like those?
You have to now survive, because it's no longer about just doing business as usual. You're trying to get into the unusual aspect of it. What do you do? And there's going to be a lot of activities, I think, during this period, and that's why maybe corruption is also maybe one of the things that people are trying to get into just to survive. But if we're shaping this country not to be a corrupt nation, I think if survival comes in and we look at the basic needs of a person being provided, then I don't really think the corruption factor of it will actually rise. But if the basic needs are there and they're being found at a good price, everyone will be willing to say, no, I'll stay home, but I'll be able to eat with my family. I'll be able to travel, because at least I can afford the fuel, I can afford the food that I need. Because sometimes to think of bigger things in life doesn't actually pay you back. It just gives you more problems. The minimum is enough for you to survive, and that's what it is.
And that's how businesses are also playing their cards right now.
The minimum is the best. Even employees now, you can have 10 employees. You have internet, you have WhatsApp, you can use all these resources to your advantage. You don't need to have a lot of people at the office like back in the day. So certain things are changing. The employee factor is one of the areas. We might just need to have more activities in this country. More activities. There are so many careers that we can tap into, but I think we're just limited to the few that give us the much needed income. But sometimes we also forget that the few things that we can tap into, because the supply of people coming out of college is high, the salary is always going to go lower, because the other end has a negotiating factor. So it doesn't mean just because you have a degree in business administration, then you're getting the same job someone got 10 years ago. No, you're going to get a lesser job, you see now. So it's affecting that trajectory of how things have been.
And how about that? Let's look into this week's startup.